Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Disco Elysium. Above, tarps flap in the wind, forgotten hammers and nails, rust. And it's Kernel RPG, it's usual. It's usual that it's Kernel RPG, it always happens. The lock is rusty, you can't get in. And we are Kim.
Yes?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, we're trying to... What do you... No, you're lying to me, aren't you? Game, are you lying to me? I think the game might be lying to me. So we are we're looking after somebody that ran away. We talked to her last episode, and we came in through there, I want to say. This goes down below, most likely. We'll see. We'll see. Because we have seen somebody that we probably want to talk to before the day ends. I'm mostly in the day is gonna end panic mode because it's almost 7 p.m. and I think at the end of this episode it is gonna be 7 p.m. Pour l'homme laborer genes for extra electromagnetism, but fewer points in reaction speed, which I'm not a very big fan of. Besides, my yellow pants are good, although it does reduce my savoir-faire, which I am very bad at right now because I got it's my shoes as well. No, I'm good. I don't need to know how to make things, which is what savoir-faire means. Enough coal to last for several winters. Smells of chemicals. Yes, the chemicals in coal. Someone's been sleeping here recently. Cindy? Oh, she sleeps here? Oh yeah, because this is like the furnace. So in this world they still burn coal for heat. It's one way of storing energy, I suppose. Pressure is another way as well. For heat as well. There's many other ways that are as well. Specifically
Hello,
for
officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Specifically for heat. Yeah, is that bed in the coal room yours? Oh, not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner. Really? You're a miner? Yeah. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens. Do you have a real home? Which is a terribly rude thing to ask, or to say. Well, to ask in specific, but to assume that that's not her real home. Maybe it's lost in translation, because English does distinguish between house and home, where some languages don't do that. Well, actually, no, it's not the languages, it's the culture, rather. Because I know, for example, in Portuguese, we don't tend to distinguish, but we do have a word that more closely translates what home means to English speakers. And we don't use it, we just call it house. It's my house, instead of my home. We say it a lot, so it's more of a cultural difference. So maybe... Latvia? Did I say before? Did I say the name? Or did I say the country that the developers are from? I think it is Latvia. Estonia? It's close by, anyway. Yeah, don't you have a real home? Does anyone in a city like this? She replies wistfully, looking around. If there's pain about any particular home she's lost, she's buried it deep, fortified herself against it. It's not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to do. It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does, she says. And she looks at the paint dripping down the wall. Like me, she says. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all. Yep, and I sort of enticed you to do nothing at all. I got hiccups, I'm so sorry. I just had a nice big mug of coffee. Okay, we're getting out of here. So, we got a little bit of a view over the docks, I suppose. And we saw a woman working on a boat, so we're gonna worry about that. And we're probably gonna... Yeah, let's try to see what I can do over here to this door. Or to these doors, rather. That one as well. You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10, and I'm gonna knock. The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. You can feel tension on the other side. This time the steps come closer. Who's this? Demands a female voice, wary and tense. This is the police, open up. Do I have to open the door? You hear the clacking of heels again as the other side walks right up to the door. Right, the person on the other side. Her tone is now getting a defensive edge. Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant. Let's go, says Kim. we don't have a reason to get inside that apartment. It's generally easier to do things if you have literally any reason. Okay, yeah, that does make sense. Let's see what we have over here. Oh, very little interfacing. Wait, wasn't I better at that interfacing right there? Or did I just not do the proper... Yeah, that's the one. So, right click does that. And we got some reaction speed over there, but I don't think I'll get anything else. So we have a little bit better interfacing. We can give it a try. It's still 3%, so we might as well not give it a try. Let's get these boots instead. And was there anything this way? That goes to the balcony. I opened this door already. Why did it close? I do not know. Yeah, so it's the balcony, so we never took these stairs. Suppose I could ask her. Yeah, these are. I could ask her to open the door, I suppose. I don't remember. Did I not ask that? So this is probably for the docks, which is good because I do want to go there before I pursue the person that I'm definitely never going to be able to reach. We got some more things out of there. What do we have over here? A Cape Side. Oh no, it just says Cape Side Apartments. And Rue de Saint Guylaine, roundabout north, is where we can go south. So that makes sense. Inside, the frame of a motorcycle in repair with ellipses, and the tools used to disassemble it. And we got something over here. Did I come here before? Oh no, it's locked. Is it? Huh. Oh. Signal blue naval coat. Oh, I'm sure that's gonna look fabulous on me. But more to the point, yeah, I don't want to do it like this. There you go. More to the point, that could only be opened if I had the cutters on me, which is really interesting. So this is a signal blue naval coat. This classic double-breasted coat suits everyone, including you, with a dash over there. And if you ever find yourself battling winds at the helm of a ship, then the coat's heavy fabric has got your back, even if moths have left a few holes in it. That's fine. That's fantastic coat right there. So this thing will give me lower half-light, which I'm bad at anyway, so that's sneaking, I think. An extra suggestion, which is good. What does my current coat give? Esprit de corps. Oh, I look phenomenal. I look phenomenal. I need to complete my ensemble with this. I look even more phenomenal. I mean, if I wanted to really look phenomenal, I would use these. No, I wouldn't. The yellow trousers are the correct trousers to have. Why is it yellow, though? Because I never equipped them? Or, no, because I never clicked on them. Right. Right. Okay, well, that was great, actually. Let's go down below. Oh, we got things over there. Nope, let's not look at that. Let's look at that one instead. It looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. Yeah, I suppose so. And we have drugs for extra morale. I don't need that. I'm pretty good at morale as it is. The belly of this boat shines like it was recently painted. That's nice. Docking reserved for the residents of Rue de Saint Guillaume, 33A. Shadows on the water, green plants under the calm surface. Yeah, they're probably the normal plants. Your room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life. The boat? I mean, I suppose. A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds out her hand over the railing. What gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Huh, what is implied here? That you're a drunk? Let's shake her hand. Let's not let our ego get in our way for right now.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold. Like steel, says our interfacing. Or my yellow gloves. There is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
Ultimate? Yes. It happens quicker than a shooting star, but did the lieutenant just wink at you? The quickest wink ever.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful. She does, doesn't she? You seem rich. Can I have some money? What can you tell me about this lynching? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. She falls silent for a moment, contemplating something. Secret task complete. Oh, because, yes, I assume I had to. I assume I needed to come over here for sure. Oh, that's not the button. Sorry. She says, the information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers. Of course, madam. We should have introduced ourselves. The lieutenant hands her a piece of blue plastic. I'm Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. He points to you. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice. How curious. She returns the lieutenant's badge and turns to you. Why is that, detective? Awkwardness washes over the conversation. And me, I would assume, says our empathy. The woman doesn't like this turn of events. Yeah, remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? Yeah, my lost badge is related to it. I see. She looks increasingly worried. So are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? It's possible. After a night of heavy drinking, I lost all... let's not say that. I didn't think that was going that way. Yeah, I could have eaten it all... I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything. Oh, no. Oh, no. The two options are to say that. Okay, let's say yes. I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please. Yeah, that's a problem. Well, it's possible. After a night of heavy drinking, I lost all memory of my life and the world. Then this is gonna come as a surprise to Kim, but I am not sure he's actually... I'm pretty sure he's onto it. Oh dear, she sighs with confusion, sadness even. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe, naive as that may sound, I simply can't... Oh, I do believe you, she says. I simply can't imagine what you'd gain from faking such a condition. As I said, ma'am, the lieutenant interjects, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM. Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more useful or anything more until I've seen that badge. Hang on, she's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial agreement, says our suggestion with a hiccup. I'm very good at that, so yeah. How do I negotiate my way out of this? I'm gonna ask myself. I have found it. She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuate. Yeah, I'm gonna say, surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials. I will be frank with you. She puts down her thermal cup. I'm pretty sure it's a thermos. Is it thermal cup? That's not. Is that how it's said in English? Maybe it is. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They are going to want to see something very tangible. You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain, says our suggestion. Like what, I'm gonna say. And she says, reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason. They're profiting from this trade, says our reaction speed. The company has tried looking into the matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones? Or, she picks the cup back up, you can recover your badge. Though, if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause. Detective, says Kim, and he closes his notebook. A word in private before we continue. Oh, yeah, excuse us for a moment, madam. Kim?
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
The lieutenant's voice is hushed. I can barely hear him. How did you hope it would go? Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance and, not volunteer us to be her henchmen. Oh, so we're henchmen now. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands. Our empathy says he doesn't let it show, but there's a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation. Thank you, empathy. That's good. I'm sorry for putting us in this situation. I'll handle it. I'm sure you will, Detective. Well, what do you propose? That we don't invest? Oh, I suppose, yeah. We could just, find my badge. Oh, he nods slowly. That would be fantastic. But do we have the time? The world is large, and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. The situation, our logic says the situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence. Of the size of the badge, that is not very good. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months. Yeah. Well... What do you propose, that we don't investigate the drug trafficking? No, he says. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we're siding with the Union, or that we're on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, and then we investigate. Briefly, he adjusts his glasses. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching. Oh, that does sound like a reasonable thing to do.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
So, tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do? What we do, I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking. So what do they do? The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. She points out the small dots on the horizon. See those airships there? Blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. Then to the east... Oh no, that's the narrator. Then to the east, she points towards the harbor. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration. Offshore platforms. Our suggestion says she enjoys talking about the company. It would not hurt to inquire more. How much money does Wild Pines have? I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue. A billion. Our encyclopedic knowledge failed tremendously. No, 20 billion. That's it? I thought Wild Pines was supposed to be big time. And to think there are years when the group books losses in the billions. A wave hits the sloop. She grasps to maintain the balance. Wild Pines employs 72,000 people, all of whom have families that depend on their salaries. It's a tremendous responsibility. I'm sure they're absolutely dedicated to their workers. Where does Wild Pines get all these billions? They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas. 250 years ago, when Pines' ships explored the South Semines and charted Low Manthang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it. I'm sure it has. What does such a huge system want with a place like this? You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? She gives you a little smile. Who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? 8% of all cargo in the world? That's quite an endeavor indeed. Well, it depends on... Actually, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Depends on the world. The 15th... I got a new thought, though. The 15th Indo tribe. Wild Pines, Feld, Capri's, Tricentennial, Villiers, and LaSalle, names of Ravacholian Indo tribes spring into your head, set loose at the mention of the Wild Pines, royal monopolies, octopuses, and swordfish. Most of them gone now. YBP, Expander, Saint Baptiste, Brightest Star, LUM, Resplendent, that's a bunch of them. But isn't one missing? Wait, no, there are only 14. And why do you feel like there was a 15th Indo tribe? Okay, let's internalize this one. I don't know what it's going to do, but we can remove thoughts from here, right? Yeah, we can forget things. You do not have enough skill points available. Oh, that might not be a great thing. Well, we don't have too many things, so we're just going to think about that sort of stuff. She nods forcefully. There are no minor cogs in the system. Its terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen. With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone. Our suggestion notices. What can you tell me about this strike? Everything, she smiles. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. Okay, what's your role in this precisely? I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to the Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counter offer. And how are the talks going? Asks him. They are not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago. After that, awful lynching took place. Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected. She did, didn't she? Not necessarily. Maybe she did. Our intuition can lead us there. Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 220 M. Racist behemoth. Oh, 220 meters. Right. Yeah, right. That's what she means. There's a 2 meter and 20 centimeters, or however you want to say it. Racist, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense to have the 0 over there, because that's... I think this is an abbreviation for a way people say things. That's what I mean to say. Because otherwise it would 2.2 meter. Racist behemoth blocking the gates, she says. So the strike is connected to the lynching. Her eyes narrow. Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for later. She is resolute in this, yet you sense that she wants to tell you. You'll have to earn her trust first. Yeah, you mean Measurehead? Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead. She leans back and rolls her eyes. How were the talks going before the lynching? Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I had hoped for when I first arrived. And when did you first arrive? Asks Kim. I arrived 3 weeks ago, she thinks. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen. I prefer to do these things on site, like the Elysium. Kim looks at his notes. But the strike began in December, he says. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare. The union boss, Mr. Clare, refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he had granted the union in prior negotiations. This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike, is it? Asks him. Heavens, no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time, their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. What are their demands? There are leaflets everywhere and banners. What did they say again? Oh, yes. Every worker a member of the board. Oh, yeah, we heard about this, that they want to be part of the board. Did it say any... Did they say 50%? Maybe. Did they say that, or am I mixing things? Anyway, Logic says most of the workers probably don't know what that means. Yeah, that doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean they're not saying. That's not what it means. I mean, well, so, I mean, it's kind of complicated. You can be part of the board and not have any ruling on it, because, and in fact, a lot of board members of a lot of companies do work like that. They don't have any direct, what's the word? You know, the agency, I suppose. Especially if they're minority board members. Depends on the company, I suppose. I'm not really too familiar with how that works. Oh, yeah, of course. I'm very sorry. I did not see the correlation here. This is a traditional... not correlation, just what is the subtext here. This is just basically the workers seizing the means of production. Not quite in the traditional means, in the sort of pragmatical terms of you own your own, I don't know, hammer and sickle? Is that how it's pronounced? But rather in the sense that you're a board member, so you have agency. Which is a little bit more complicated than owning your hammer and sickle, but it's still the same principle anyway. And I failed to see it. Yeah, that is why there's an over-aggressive commie posturing. Especially connected to what the Logic said. That would be a little bit of posturing, yeah. Seems like they have no idea about business. Forget it. I wanted to... Oh, no, that's not an option. I don't know what to think about that. I like it. Let's go with that. I don't know what to think about that. Fortunately, she says, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Yeah, it seems like they're trying to stall decision-making, actually. Because they wouldn't need that. They just need a representative. Liaison. Board liaison? Is that the... Yeah, they would need... Well, in fact, that's what unions are for. Well, not what unions are for. Unions can do that work, I suppose. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they're also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. And now we have a more straightforward option here. That's pretty funny, I have to admit. The workers can't be kings. The king is king. The king is dead. Long live the workers. It's very hazy, though. I'm not really sure what she says. Just so you understand, she says, this is one of 22 terminals. I'm not sure what terminals means, but I suppose subsidiaries maybe is another word. Essentially, Wild Pines is the kings of the company. I think? Not only are they kings of the company, who is they? I think it's Wild Pines, which should be... Anyway, yeah, so 72,000 employees. How exactly does that work for 2,200? Anyway, the king is dead. Long live the workers. That may well be, she says. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start. What are you going to do? I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now people are getting lynched, I hear, behind the wallowing in rags. Disastrous situation if there ever was one. If there ever was one? I wonder if that's... I wonder what that means. I wonder if that's telling of her character, that she doesn't think the strike is a disastrous situation. Because she wouldn't, especially if she's a liaison. She's a person who goes around dealing with strikes. That's their job, so that's just her thing. Kim says, excuse me. The lieutenant looks up from his notes. From whom did you hear about this lynching? Oh, maybe the other person that we are looking for. Her replies comes quick. I first heard it from the boya at the gates. I'm not sure what that means, by the way. I know it's an expression. I don't know what it is. I think it's related to a specific ethnicity, maybe? Is it Irish or is it Italian? Anyway, the one whose very name advertises his aversion to control. I think he said it was "Call me mañana." This checks out. Oh yeah, I remember calling mañana. Mañana. He's the one that's the one with the beret. The one that's looking at the scabs. The scabs at the gate. Did you put them there? The scabs? She raised an eyebrow. Yeah, it is a very comrade style expression or term. You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock come to plead for work where the Union refuses to? The huddled masses there, I think, being a reference to the poem in the Statue of Liberty there, so maybe a little bit of the libertarian. Well, libertarian is probably not the word. This is sort of liberal. Liberal is probably the word. It's just sort of free market capitalism of the U.S. as an opposition to the scabs, or rather, a different perspective on the scabs. Come to plead where work the union refuses to. I need to read into what the heck right to work legislation is, because that's a new thing. Well, it's not a new thing, but it's a thing that's now, at the time of this recording, kind of thing. And I need to read into that because I need to figure out. There's subtext here that connects to that. To plead to work, because we've heard already the I just want to work, and it came to my mind the right to work thing. I need to read into that. Anyway, I'll comment on that sort of stuff later. Don't let her answer it herself. No, I mean scabs. That's our reaction speed. Our reaction speed is on point today. Let's call them strike breakers. You put them there, right? Yeah, let's go with that. If these strike breakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. It also... Wouldn't it be illegal? No, it wouldn't be. I mean... Of course, no, it wouldn't necessarily be illegal in this world, but I'm talking like in real world. And I say real world, I mean really Europe, because I don't know laws about a lot of things. I could not share it with you, not yet at least. It's implied she's open to discussing this matter with you at a little later occasion. Well, that's all I need here. Let's change the topic. In fact, that's all for now, because we're out of time for the day. So we're going to talk to her next episode, again, a little bit more. But for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.